Hi guys, Julie the Oracle here. So, I was going to do another past, present, future reading. It started off with me pulling 3 cards. It's a funny thing. It wasn't intended to be a love reading, but holy crap, it came out that way. Because I kind of, the question that I ended up asking was about what kind of obstacles were you facing? And apparently, there's a dilemma here that needs to be talked about. First and foremost, I just want to say, like, by the time this is posted, it'll be a brand new week. So I just want to say I hope everybody had a great holiday, and we're heading in towards the Christmas time this year. These readings are timeless. Even if I'm putting time in here, just ignore that. Whenever you go back and read it, ignore that part, and just, if the message is for you, take what resonates and leave the rest. I am going to be doing a baking challenges. I'll post the link while I still can. I don't know how much time I have left because the baking challenge is ending that I was talking about on one of the last video. So I'll be doing one, I think, for St. Jude. They have 2 different ones. They have one's a baking challenge and one is walking 100 miles. I might be able to do that if I can walk 5 miles a day for 20 days out of December. We'll see, because the weather's gotten cold. So, you know, it's a hard time to be out there, especially if it's raining and all that crap. So we'll see. I think I'm better off baking for now, but I will post that. Feel free to donate. The money doesn't go to me. It's donated to No Kid Hungry. If I do the one in December, it should be St. Jude. So again, it will just be like a link, and you can donate to that link, and that money will go to help the children of St. Jude, who usually it's a lot of cancer research and helping kids get better from having these horrible, you know, diseases and cancers and different things that they have. So whatever helps, you know, this is my way of helping, and the baking is just a way of garnering attention for it. Whatever works, works, right? So feel free if you want to do that. Also, let's see. I have been thinking about starting another YouTube. I have a secondary YouTube channel that I'm not using right now. I probably will. I'm thinking of, you know, I like to purchase things like off of Facebook and Amazon and different things where, you know, I get recommendations for these amazing products. And I'm like, I wonder if that really works or if it's a scam. Now, if it's a scam, I'll avoid it completely. And I'll always go and check out reviews and the website and things and make sure that it's legitimate before I ever buy it. But I want to say, a lot of people think that it's scams and stuff on there. I think there's just some marketing ploys to get people to buy, but I've bought some great items off of some of those shops that are being advertised on Facebook, and I actually thought about doing that. Like, I am now using a shampoo and conditioner that's being shown on Facebook and Instagram all the time, and I mean, it actually does really great for my hair. So I don't know if I'll need to show my face for that, or at least my hair for that. I might be able to, but if I do, I haven't really decided. I thought about doing that, you know, these products, buying them and like kind of just giving the pros and cons and a little review of them, and, you know, saying whether I recommend them or not. It could be kind of an interesting thing to do. If not, I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to baking, and, you know, I'm already doing the tarot channel, but I also have knowledge on, like, I have a cat, so I could talk about cats or all the different gadgets that cats like to play with, because I know there's a lot of animal lovers out there. You know, if I got a dog, I might talk about the dog too, but I don't have a dog right now. We have a family dog, but she doesn't really play a lot. So she's older. But I also have a lot of knowledge on meteorology, and I thought I could do something weather-wise and like maybe educate people. It just depends. I know about art as well, but I'm knowledgeable in a lot of different weird things, so I haven't really decided. I thought maybe it would be fun to just, you know, order interesting products and see what happens. And then I could recommend them. I think that would be kind of cool to do. But we'll see. Anyway, all right, on to the reading. So it was supposed to be past, present, future. However, I immediately, as I started laying these out, I laid out the third card. I'm like, whoa, okay. Somebody's got a situation here. So I was trying to ask about what obstacle were you facing, but it turned into a love reading. It wasn't intended to. Did not intend to do like another love reading. However, here we are. Yeah. I have the Knight of Wands, I have the Knight of Pentacles, and a Ten of Cups. So if I look at this, I'm going to try to look at this different ways for you guys so that maybe it will resonate with some of you in different ways. The Knight of Wands, for instance, like if this is past, present, future, I could see this as the Knight of Wands being someone who was very impatient, somebody who was impulsive and maybe flew off the handle, easy to anger, you know, quick to mouth off, things like that. Somebody who was just like made very fast decisions, not always the right ones. But if you were this way in your past, in your present, you're the Knight of Pentacles, much slower. You take your time getting to places, like you've realized that life is important and you calm down and you're a lot more level-headed now than you were in the past. And you know that it's important that you don't rush into anything. And maybe some of those impulsive decisions of your past have kind of forced you to slow down in the future and go, oh, you know what? This time I'm not going to make the wrong choice. You've decided to slow down and really think about what you want to do. You strategize, you plan, you research. I mean, you prepare in every way to make the right decision. So the Knight of Pentacles is really level-headed and very careful with what they do. Every move is calculated. And so you've come a long way from being like too impulsive to like, now you're relaxed and you think before you act, which is a great thing. Hopefully you think before you speak too now, because if you pop that mouth off, you know, it can happen. And I think because of the changes that you've made in your life, if you've gone from this Knight, you know, a feisty, fiery person to now you're calm and level-headed, and this is leading to your future. You've got 10 of Cups here. This is like a happy ending, fulfillment. You know, it's a lot of emotional fulfillment because now you're taking life slower. You're enjoying life. And I think this is all the 10 of Cups is about. It's like in the future, you're going to enjoy every moment you have. It's going to create a lot of beautiful memories. And you're going to know that you're making the right decisions, not just for you, but for your future family and for the future of your career, for the future of whatever house you decide to buy and where you decide to go for, you know, vacation or, you know, anything. Every decision you make will be a wise one. And that's kind of how I was reading this at first, but someone has a dilemma here, and I started reading this completely different and thinking, okay, there's different ways to read this. I think it's you guys. I think that whoever's tuning in, whether it's tomorrow or, you know, whether it's years from now when you tune in and it's timeless and you're like, okay, you start looking at it going, what in the world? So you have a dilemma. This is your dilemma. There's a dilemma for someone here because you're stuck between two people. And if I want to look at it past, present, you've got someone from your past who maybe... Actually, there's more than one way to look at this, so let me try to get it all straight. So you've got somebody from your past that's coming back, and they're an impulsive person. This person likes to go with the flow, and they like to keep it moving, and maybe they might be considered to rush into things. Again, that similar thing that I talked about, that type of Knight of Wands I talked about in the beginning. But the Knight of Pentacles, sorry, I had to take a drink. The Knight of Pentacles is someone who definitely has their life and career planned out, and they've come to a place where they're ready. In your present life, somebody's walked into your life they're ready right now. They are ready. They're in a good place financially. They're stable. They're well balanced in their physical, mental, emotional health. And, you know, they're at this stage of life where they're like, I'm ready to date, to have a relationship, to, you know, make somebody very, very happy. And that's who the Knight of Pentacles is. And they're coming to bring you that offer in the present. But you've got the Knight of Wands from your past coming back too. And this person coming back, I don't know necessarily if they've changed, but they have had a realization that, you know, you may have been with this person previously, whether you were in a relationship with them or married to them or you dated them. They're coming back and they want a second chance. So then you have this dilemma of like, oh my gosh, I have two guys. Well, do you want to take the blast from the past and deal with that again? How do you know that they really changed? You don't. You have to, you're going to have to pay really close attention to see if there's any red flags there, to see if they've had any improvement in the way they think and the way they feel. Like, are their feelings there? Are they ready for the future? You know, this Knight of Wands, like, is this person prepared? Have they changed their ways in terms of communicating? Like, do they communicate better instead of mouthing off to you and they get mad? Like, that's kind of where I was trying to go with that. Because you know that if you weren't happy and you found yourself fighting all the time, it's not a good relationship. And this person is like, oh, I can't live without them. I'm like, do they miss you? Do they miss the drama? Like, what is it? Like, you want to make sure that they're in this for the right reasons. And the Knight of Pentacles is already this great person, but depends on you. Sorry, guys. The weather changes and I start getting the sore throat and everything. The Knight of Pentacles. Now, this person is very stable, and some people find stability to be boring. Like, I don't know if I want to rock the boat personally, myself. I like stable people. I like someone that's prepared to do things. Like, it's good to be spontaneous, like the Knight of Wands. But the planner over here, Knight of Pentacles, I mean, they're a planner. They'll plan ahead, and you'll be glad for it later on. However, you know, it doesn't mean that they lack spontaneity, but you got to hope that if they're well balanced, and they should have that spontaneity. They should know when to be serious, when to be funny, when to be romantic. Like, the Knight of Pentacles is that person that should have that, but I don't know individually who these people are to you. So you've got to see, is this person in your present life, you know, are they going to be good for you? Are they going to be a good match for you long term? Is this going to be the person that you have to pry the teeth out of their mouth to get them to go somewhere with you down the road because all they want to do is sit around the house? You know, and I don't mind. I'm kind of a homebody myself. So you got to picture, like, okay, are you well balanced where you like to stay at home, but you like to go out once in a while and let's go to dinner, let's go to dancing, let's go do something. But then you want to be a homebody most of the time because it's nice to be at home and you guys can share a nice meal and watch TV together, and, you know, or maybe you find other things to do from home, or, you know, there's a lot of different things that you can do. I mean, it all depends on you and your partner. Your partner, you can make it very lively at the house and you can have a really good time and you don't even need to go out. But once in a while, you might want to get out. You might want to take a little road trip on the weekends. All of it's about balance. And, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is usually a good balance of that. You just got to make sure, is this person going to be too boring for you? Or are you going to need a little bit more spunk and feistiness and spontaneity like the Knight of Wands? Because you've got two different personality types here. One seems to be way more stable than the other one, because the other one, you never know, could fly off the handle at any time, unless they've changed. So if they've changed for the better and they're more balanced now, it's going to be a little bit harder, and the Knight of Pentacles might seem too boring to you, because you might have the balance you want in this person. But you also know if this person's coming back from your past, you're probably like, oh, hell no, I don't want to go back to an ex. No way. But I know that there's people out there thinking, you know, that's the person that got away. I totally understand that. So I know that the people not getting along with their exes is different situations. And sometimes it could be a really great relationship, but for whatever reason, you weren't ready, you weren't in the right places, and you ended it. And then maybe you think back going, man, maybe I should have given it more of a chance. And, well, sometimes opportunity knocks twice. And this person is coming back. That's kind of the way I read these cards, as a blast from the past, someone in your present, and one of these guys is going to give you 10 of Cups for the future. But it's your decision. That's your dilemma. You have to decide. And the best thing I can tell you to do is observe the behavior. Make sure that their words and actions are matching on both of them, and that they're there for you. And if they're there for you in times of trial, and I have little things I like to do personally. Like, I think it's good to, you know, have a road trip together, be a navigator for each other, or vice versa, you know. Take turns driving, take turns being a navigator. You know, I had someone tell me I was a good travel partner once, and a travel companion, whatever you want to call it. I liked it. I thought that was one of the best compliments I could have ever gotten. Because I've done traveling before a lot of the times, and it hasn't always been pleasant, but it honestly depends on the company. So, and sometimes the company is good to travel with, and I'm happy to, you know, be there to take, you know, to take the stress off them if they don't want to drive, or if they need someone to navigate. Like, I'm happy to help. I enjoy it. It just depends on who I'm with. There's other things I like to do too. I think taking a road trip is kind of important because, you know, if you go away for the weekend, one, it's how are you guys going to be when you go away for the weekend? Are you going to bicker? You know, you're going to be faced with certain obstacles, and definitely driving in traffic drive me nuts. And so you've got to deal with that. It's also like, Are they going to be a good travel companion? Are they going to complain the whole time? Or you know, they're going to need to, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, like, are they going to ask for directions? Or are you just going to get lost? I mean, seriously, that's kind of why I like to go on road trips. For one, it kind of gives me an insight into the person and would they be fun to travel with. But also, like, going to the store and trying to pick out groceries together for a menu. Like, you're gonna have dinner together. Okay, come with me to go shopping. Take them shopping. See if they're cranky. See if they argue with you on every little thing, or if they are good at compromising. Also, one of the best things you can do is go pick out a piece of furniture and put it together. You know, like, that's something that you can do together, is putting it to, you know, putting a piece of furniture, especially when you have like the very little not rules. I'm sorry. I want to say guidebook, but that's not it. Like the instructions. There you go. Jeez. I can't find my words today. But the instruction manual is like not really a manual. It's just like a piece of paper with some Chinese on it or something, and you don't know what it is. And you're like, okay, there's just a bunch of letters like, okay, A connects to 7B, and you know, I don't know how this works. It can be very frustrating on your own, but you know, if you did decide that is something that will strengthen your bond. And I think that that's why I like to do these things, like, you know, going shopping together or taking a road trip or putting together furniture. There's little things that people can do together, and you'll learn a lot about each other real quick on, you know, how aggravated you could be when you're faced with certain situations. That's going to be important. So be the observer, watch for red flags, you know, look for the changed behavior. You know, words and actions have got to meet. They got to come through for you. And trying those little things like that is going to tell you a lot about, okay, you know, I really enjoyed my time with this person, but that person, I couldn't stand to drive with them anywhere because they were awful. And it's like, okay, that's going to make it easier in the end, because no dilemma. You're going to be like, this person made me feel amazing and I want to be with them. And that's going to be your 10 of cups. So that's your dilemma here. There is one other alternative for some of you. I don't know. This could be for just a small handful of you. I don't know. Could be one person watching. I really don't know how many of you are going to see this, but for some of you, and I will say some, because I think the majority went with the other way. Some of you, if I read this past, present, future, this could be someone you previously met, like a friend or someone you dated or somebody you knew that, you know, it didn't go very far. You never really had that relationship with them. But perhaps you were young and, you know, you kind of, you're going to reconnect with this person. And maybe you knew them as a Knight of Wands back in the day, but maybe they're a Knight of Pentacles. Maybe they grew up, they matured. Life has matured them to the point where, you know, they still have this great personality. They have a lot of passion and attraction and all the things you like about them. But now they've matured into, like, you know, a passionate, attractive person that's also very good at planning and financially stable. And, you know, they can meet you wherever you are. They can meet you on the same page. That's what I'm seeing with the Knight of Pentacles. It's the same person, but they've just grown up. And now you're admiring them going, wow, you know, they've changed. They've evolved into even better than when they were younger, because you weren't sure about them back then. But now you're like, definitely sure. You reconnect and you're like, everything you felt for this person then is still there, but now you see like this whole mature side of them, and that's even sexier. And you're like, okay, I want to be with this person. And you're going to end up having that spark and that reconnection, and you're going to want to date them. And I think it's going to be mutual. And I think you're going to end up with the 10 of Cups. You're going to be emotionally fulfilled with this person. And this could lead to you having a very fulfilling long-term relationship. And it could lead to other things if you decide to get married or have kids or whatever. You might buy a house together or get a dog. I don't know, whatever you want. But it's going to be great. You're going to love doing it. With that being said, I think I've gone over most of the scenarios at this point. So I'm going to do the Oracle cards. And you have Ascendant Oracle says the Observer. And again, this is Observer. This is somebody, look at that. They're tied. Their intuition is tied into the crystal ball there. And I almost have the angel wings. So I think, like, listen to your intuition, your heart, those divine messages you get. They're not going to lead you astray. Be the observer. that's the only way you can see the change behavior. If the behavior has changed, you know, depending on if you're choosing between two, or if someone's come back into your life and you want to know if they've changed, or a new person came into your life, definitely be the observer. Like I said, look for those red flags. Like, you don't have to go looking for a problem, but just pay attention. If there are any, pay attention to it, see if it's going to be a problem. Because if it will, it's going to show itself pretty early. I've had this happen to me, and I wish I'd paid attention to the red flag of my ex's drinking before, you know, we got together, because I could have avoided, you know, what was to be a doomed relationship. I gave it my all for 6 years and then still ended up having to leave him because the drinking was so bad. It was affecting our relationship, our future, our everything. Nothing I wanted was going to happen, and I knew I had to walk away. Sad situation, but it is what it is, and I've made my peace with it now, and I'm much better for it, because I was not in a good place having to put up with that. But all you could do is observe and make sure you watch their communication. If they're doing and saying exactly what they mean to, that's great. And if they're communicating with you and willing to compromise with you and vice versa, then I think you're going to be just fine. So be the observer. And then for those of you having this dilemma, or, you know, like, not being sure, anybody that's not sure about someone, whether you're choosing or someone comes back and you reconnected and you're like, wow, do I feel like this now, or am I going to feel like this later? You don't really know. So disseminating moon from Moonology, take time to breathe out. That's right. Take that pause and breathe out. Okay. So I just wanted to say that sometimes you need to take a breather. You know, take your time. Meditate on it. Sleep on it. Take that breather. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths and just think about, you know, what you want to do in this situation. Do you want to give them a chance or not? It's up to you who you pick, or if you choose to give somebody from your past a chance, or if a new person comes in and you're like not sure. I don't know. Let your instincts guide you. Your heart will know, but your intuition is going to tell you, and you'll know. Trust in it. Make your decision on your intuition. And then your guardian angel says pause, which is the same thing. Take time to breathe out, pause. Yeah, take that pause to really think about it. Reflect on the behavior and the changes that have happened. And again, anything, you make the right decision, you're going towards that 10 of cups. The wrong decision is just a delay. So it won't be what you think it will be. And then we have cyan is your color. It's beautiful. This is so blue. It's number 35, which that reduces to 8. 8's like and if I go back to 8 in Major Arcana, it's a strength card. So draw on your strength. Be strong during this time. You know, it's worried, like, I don't want to make a wrong decision here. Because if you made the decision, you know, and those of you reconnecting with somebody that you've already made the decision to walk away from, when you reconnect and you feel it in your bones and your intuition is saying, yes, it's time to try this again. This is the right timing. That divine timing is there right now. Take it. Don't miss that opportunity. I think you guys know that. But science says build your confidence. I love it. Yeah, build your confidence and know you can trust yourself. You know, if this is some people from your past, you've dealt with them in your past, and if they just act the same way, you know, you can say no to that. You don't have to try again. But change behavior is great. Changed attitudes, maturity, and growth are very positive things. And if you see those things in the person, but they still get to keep their authentic personality and sense of humor and all of that, that's great, because they've managed to evolve. I pulled 2 romance oracles for you. It's so funny. This is a past life relationship. You've known each other before. This person coming back to you, this could be like a separation of a past life soul connection or something. And if you've had a life together before, maybe it was just bad timing. And when the right timing is, they're going to come together with you, and it's going to be beautiful. And when it happens, don't miss it. But I pulled 2 because I wasn't sure. And this one says, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. I think that's hilarious because we're back to soulmates. past life connections, soul connections. This is where we're back to, and I like it because if this new person coming into your life, you know, it could be the past person, but for those of you who have a new person coming into your life and you're like, oh no, I got to choose. Well, if this new person and if you're fearing it because, well, if you're fearing it, you know, because you're not sure about this person, you're not sure, like, are they too boring for me? They're so different from me. I don't think we have anything in common, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes someone who is like an opposite to you could be very complimentary. So that's why, you know, I have this little saying of my own, because it's funny. We always have, like, I don't know about you guys, but me, you know, I've had a list of things I wanted in a partner. I wrote it down once too. I keep a list of all the things I want in a partner, but it's unrealistic to expect everything to have this perfect partner show up, because I really think that perfectly imperfect is all that exists. You know, we're imperfect, and that's okay. We're going to make mistakes, and there's always going to be somebody that has issues or flaws or baggage or whatever it may be, and they can be like the most beautiful person in the world, but they could still be flawed on the inside. They could still have traumas. They could still have problems that they have to deal with. And I just say that because, you know, your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. We have these laundry lists that we expect to have. We have types and we have expectations. We need to stop that crap. I actually have never really had a type, you know, besides what society tried to tell me was my type. And that's not true. I actually found that I like different men based on different things. For me, it really is personality and sense of humor. Like, a man can make me laugh, like I'm his. I mean, it's pretty easy to do that. I mean, personality-wise, though, I'm looking for a man that is kind, that is generous with his time, that is loving. I would like a man that's super romantic, but I know a lot of men aren't. They can be, but I want someone who just can accept me for who I am and show me the love, and vice versa, because I'm somebody that is giving, that is loving and loyal, and I will give 100% of myself to that person, you know, but it has to be mutual. We both give effort every day to make the relationship work. And this is, you know, this is just who I am. And I've always given a lot of myself in my relationships. I give a lot of myself in friendships. I give a lot of myself just about everywhere. But the truth is, like, I've been kind of surprised because some of the people I've met and been attracted to were not my usual, like, they're not my type. I don't really have a type, so they haven't fit that category. And, you know, whatever expectations I had were blown out of the water. And the saying I was telling you about, I have this little saying, you know, because we have these lists of things, we have these types and expectations, and we hand it over and go, hey, God, I want to, you know, if we pray or whatever we ask Gaia or whoever that we're asking for, ask the universe for a special person, we're just like, well, I want someone who's this, and they've got to be this tall and this thin, and they have to work out, and they have to do this. No, it doesn't work that way. My saying is that God gives us what we need, not what we want. We can ask for what we want until we're blue in the face. We're never going to get exactly what we want. However, that being said, God gives us what we need. So when he sends a special person into our life, they're never what we expect. It's almost like you feel like you got sideswiped, or like you got T-boned by a Mack truck, because you're like, whoa, I did not see you coming. They're not your usual type, and they won't be any of the expectations you thought you had. Like, I'm not going to date somebody that's too short or too tall, or I'm not going to date somebody that's bald or has long hair, or I don't want to date somebody because they're older or younger, or they have, you know, I don't want to date somebody with that name because that name is like an ex's name or something. You know, none of that mattered. None of that mattered. And I can tell you from personal experience, when you meet someone that God intends to put in your life, it blows you away, because you're like, well, I did not ask for this, this, and this, but it turns out that person is very important to me. And they are more than I could have ever wanted. They are more than I could have ever asked for, you know, in a friend, in a person who's in my life, who's had such an impact on it, you know, and the same goes in this situation. your soulmates and soul connections, whatever form they come in, whether romantic or not, they are there for a reason. And they're going to blow you out of the water, and you're not going to care any about that list you had of what you wanted, because God's given you what you need, and what you need is more than you could have ever wanted. And that's just what I want to say on that. That being said, I pulled some channel love messages, and just in case you're deciding between two guys, it's not going to help. But surprise. So for your Knight of Wands over here, I pulled these two channel love messages. It says, I need you by my side. And it says, I want to give you the world. And then underneath this, you know, we have your Knight of Pentacles under here. The messages from your Knight of Pentacles is, I'm hoping to hear from you, and I want to be a better person for me and for you. I love it. I love it. And so with this, I think that this applies to the two different people if you have a dilemma in choosing. However, that being said, if you're that person that has the same person, if your Knight of Wands has now become your Knight of Pentacles and has evolved into that, all of these messages could be for you. You know, this could all be from the same person. So keep that in mind. This person is definitely here for you, and they may end up being a soul connection for you, a past life connection, a soulmate, I mean, and they may not meet all of your type and expectations, but you're not going to give a crap about that. After you meet them and spend time with them, you're going to fall in love. Because that is exactly what happens. So, those are your messages, and I hope this was helpful. Until next time, guys,